All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Friday, December 3rd, 2021. Market's closing in about 7 minutes. We're looking at the put-call ratio here. Total bloodbath again today. So highest put-call ratio this year, I believe, is a fake print here on the put-call. But we're just taking a look at here. We're at the highest put-call ratio since June of 2020. And if you remember, that was the, if we can get this typed in here. So that was the that big right before that big gap down there that we had that one day where we flushed out like 3% in one day. So that was so there's just a ton of protection buying going on right now, and I think we're really oversold short term. What we're seeing, and I suggested this yesterday, is that we saw some investors are skittish about holding long into the weekend. If we got any news coming out, we've got a lot of bad news going on, so people don't want to hold into the weekend, and that's why we're seeing that selling. Now we're getting a little bit of a relief bounce here off the lows here, as spiders are making did make the low of the day. They did kind of just grind down and got really oversold here in the near term. Dow actually holding up okay, and we talked about this recently, like some of these safety stocks, Verizon, AT&T, Unilever, Clorox. These are the types of things that you want to own in this kind of defensive environment. You don't want to be in tech. By the way, we just closed out QID for a nice gain. And this is probably one of my best trades earlier this year. I mean, not a percentage wise, but in the way that we planned it out, we initiated, we weren't sure if this market was going to roll over once we got to this area. So we initiated a small position short, and then we added another small position right at double top. And we knew going into it that we were going to add max buying power into this trend line. We got there and we maxed out our position. We got this one little pierce up here, and then boom, nice little drop there on QID. Also just closed out AMD short for a nice gain. So market's getting a little bit of a bounce here, and that is, we'll probably be looking to reshort this. I think that we will get a bounce next week. Volatility got really crazy here today, up almost to that 36 handle there. So the highest since February, or really January. So volatility just got really expensive. I actually just sold some VXX calls for next week. As I think that this, vol probably will come in a little bit. There has been quite a bit of panic here. Seeing the Russell get a little bit of a bid off the lows too. This has been pretty soft though. And again, we talked about this yesterday. The makeup of the market is different. Previous sell-offs we had XLF and the financials kind of rallying. We had XLE rallying. But that's not been the case this time. It's been a broad-based decline, and tech finally getting hit pretty hard here. Let's take a look at Tesla coming down, basically testing that 50 MA. By the way, the members got this over a month ago, but that top that I called to the day on Tesla has held so far. So, imagine if that ends up being a longer-term top. There'd be a pretty nice little call there. But a lot of semiconductors coming in. So NVIDIA finally losing that 20 MA. We talked about the SMH here. So we're going to get that close below the 20 MA. By the way, you could make a case. You can make a case that you triggered a head and shoulders here. It's a smaller one, but if we just do a quick calculation, see 318, 96, yeah, about 20 points or so. So, I mean, that would take you right down to 280. That would coincide with this double top 50 MA. So that should trigger there on the semiconductors. Maybe it's going to get really close, though. They might close it right on that line. So we'll have to check back on that for the close. But in any case, semiconductors losing that 20 MA, that's what we've been looking for. And that's the breakdown that we've been looking for in the market, really. Let's take a look at the transports. So the transports are holding up here. And let's see if they're going to hold on to that green bar low here. So this is really the area that we were looking at. Yeah, it's going to be close. There's a lot of things right on the border here. So let's see, the low 15,859. Yeah, it looks like we're going to beat that. So we are going to hold this green bar low for the week on the transport. So that is a positive for the market. And again, it supports the theory that we probably bounce next week. Let's take a look at broker dealers getting hit a little bit, coming off the lows though, as well as everything is. See Goldman. Yeah, coming off the lows, Morgan Stanley. Okay, so financials getting a little bit off the lows here. Yields really getting hit though today. TNX, look at that, down 7.25%. The 30-year down 5% here. This is getting into support though. This is getting very close to support here. If we look on the 30-year, you have a major area of support here, 618, and all this chop right here. That is going to be good support here on the 30-year yield. So we'll continue to monitor that one as well. Let's take a look at gold. So we talked about this trend line. It looks like we're going to reclaim that. We said that, we didn't like this breakdown that we got earlier this week, or really yesterday. But it looks like we're going to hold it on a weekly basis, and the weekly time frame is more dominant. So, with yields getting hit, that is helping gold. Also, maybe a little bit of a safe haven type play. That could be what gold is, giving gold a bid here. Silver finally getting a bid too, coming off the lows. But again, this is kind of it's got a lot of work to do to really shape up if it's going to make any sort of bullish move here. But, coming off the lows nicely, so a nice little bid there for silver. We're seeing some movement in some of the ADRs. So Chinese stocks getting really pounded. Alibaba down 8.5% here, but this is into some major support. This one's actually getting a little intriguing here around this 112 handle. Maybe a little bit lower, 105, 110. That could be an area if you're aggressive. You want to take a quick stab at something. Baidu getting hit pretty hard coming off the lows. Let's take a look at JD. So this one had a pretty ugly breakdown today. Kind of like having this little trend line here, just cleanly cut right through that, but did come way off the lows. PDD, so this one's getting hit, but nice little tail candle there. So maybe closing in on a little bit of a bottom here on the ADRs as well. Markets have closed. Look at that pop into the close on the spiders and the triple Qs. So turned out to be a good idea to close out that QID long here, as the market did get a little bit of a bid off the low. And again, we can always just reshort it if it wants to, chop sideways or push higher, have a little bit of a relief rally here. Let's take a look at AMD. So that finished way off the lows too. So nice little job there for that short. In any case, so we're going to take a look here. Let's take a look at the weekly spider. All right, so the weekly spider. So obviously we lost this green bar low last week. We talked about that yesterday. And now we're closing below the previous all-time high of August 30th there at 454 on the spider. So we did hold the weekly 20 MA for now. But, this is a weak close any way you slice it or dice it. I still think that we're a little oversold. I don't think we're going to have a Black Monday or anything like that. It's possible. It's possible. I mean, if we get bad news, we could gap down and we could have a limit down, but there's a lot of support in this area, right around 444. There's going to be this gap fill at 435. That's where you tried to break down and you couldn't. So that was that's going to be a good support. You also have the 200 MA there. So, I don't think we're going to have any sort of Black Monday, although it is possible. But I do think we're more due for some type of a relief rally here as we get next week. Now, maybe later in the week, that can change. Again, I do think that we have topped out for the year. I've said that a couple of times here, and I've been saying that for really like the last 2 weeks. This is where really this Tuesday here, I said, yeah, this is probably it. We've probably topped out on the Qs, at least. Also, the Dow really topped out quite a while ago, topped out back in November, and really has been soft ever since. The same thing with the Russell, with that failed breakout. Let's take a look at the weekly Russell here. That's a pretty ugly chart on that weekly Russell. You are into support here, but I mean, that's you. Look, you tried to break out here and then just 1, 2, 3, 4 down. Look at the monthly candle here on the IWM. That's a pretty ugly monthly candle as well. But in any case, take care, guys. I will try to get the full weekend video out for you on Wall Street from Main Street later. You guys have a great rest of your weekend.